this episode of Cruising with the Coaches, Julie and I talk about what it looks like to have a partnership or actually try to form a partnership, especially with the holidays coming up. Stay tuned, that episode is coming up next. All right, folks, welcome back from that break. Clearly, we are here together, Julie and I. Julie, how are you doing?
Doing okay. How are you?
It's middle of November, so I'm okay. I mean, the year is wrapping up. It's moved along.
Quickly,
Oh,
very quickly. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but it was crazy because the weather, at least here in DC, right? The weather was warm, warm, warm. Then it dropped down for a few days, went back to like the 70s, sunshine, right? Then
hmm
40s and 50s, and that's like nasty for us here.
Right.
So it was like,
Nasty for everybody.
right. It's like, oh yeah, it is November. So okay. Okay. I can't keep asking for, 70, 80 degrees, but
Right.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So yeah, man, we're coming up on the end of the year. That's
hmm
wow. It's crazy
Going
how
very fast.
fast. But yeah, so what topic do we want to cover, seeing as how we're getting into, I guess, like holiday season a little bit,
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I think a good topic, since we're all, headed into the holidays and what have you, would be like talking about partnerships, be them professional or personal,
Mm,
and how that works for you. Like, is it with, the communication of what are your needs, what are your wants?
mhm.
How is it that you're making that partnership successful?
Good, yeah, absolutely good topic because at least, excuse me, on the professional side, as you're starting to wrap up the calendar year, there could be a lot of projects that are coming that needs finished, need completion.
hmm
There's a lot of you know outstanding work that might be piling up, and if one person is doing it right,
hmm
then like you're talking about, that partnership needs to be discussed. It needs to
Right.
be, hey, I can't do all of this, or if people are going on vacation, right,
That's I was
for
just
the
gonna say, or you could look at the fun part. It's kind of like, okay, if you get the Wednesday, then I get the Friday or the Monday. You know what I mean?
holiday.
Depending on your workspace, if you get the Thursday and the Friday off for Thanksgiving. But like,
Right.
how do you sometimes have that negotiation so that it's
Mhm.
fair for both parties?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, a lot of things that I've seen on the professional level, I
hmm
think what is good is you start. I think when it's a certain project, right, and hopefully it's not overdue. But I think everybody has to have at least a general role, or a defined role at the beginning. And now that the project may be halfway done, 75% done, whatever, if there's other things that you need as the project lead or as part of the project, and maybe it's something outside of your scope of work, right?
hmm
Maybe it's something that you either not necessarily need to take a class on, right, but need more help on. It's better to express that, right?
Right. Right.
It's better to say, I'm not quite sure where to go with this, or, you know, I know this part is due in January, but I'm not sure how to build that now, right?
Right.
That kind of.
Right.
I think it's better to say that. Talk to the team members, talk
hmm
to the project lead, and it's better to just be honest instead of trying to shoulder a lot of the weight, and then actually you create more stress for yourself, right?
Exactly, because you're not communicating.
Hmm.
which is like you said, putting more stress, making you more, I don't know, for some people agitated or what have you, or just feeling, overwhelmed in general. And nobody wants that, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's even worse is that if you're not communicating like the help you need or just some more distribution of the workload, I can imagine other team members are going to
Hmm.
get a little bit stressed, not knowing what's getting done, or if they say, "How can I help?" Oh no, I got it, I got it. Well, that also causes anxiety with the teammates as well. You know,
Right, right.
I can only imagine that. So, I think one of the things that we're trying to say here is just be honest. Don't
Yes.
don't be a martyr. Don't take on something just because you feel not guilt's not the right word, but you feel compelled to
Or
you
obligated. Yeah.
obligate. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for, right? Like it's a team effort, and
Right,
so you have to lean on your team sometimes in order to get that done. You know,
right, right.
but it's interesting when we talk about partnerships because and as you mentioned the holidays on that personal level, you
Hmm.
know, what do you do when you are scheduled to go to the
Two houses on the same day?
yeah
No.
or maybe a house that you're not fond of going to? I don't know. Maybe having dinner with people. We're not saying you don't like them, but
No.
that you can be around in small doses, right?
Yes, yes.
I was trying to be nice. Did that
Yeah,
work?
that worked. That was very, very sugar coated, but it was good.
So yeah, what do you do? Like, what would you tell somebody, right? If, like you said, going to two or more houses in one day, or how do you deal with that? You
Well,
know?
I would honestly say like that literally okay, that takes that whole coaching like conversation. All right, team. Let's come together now. And make
Sure.
sure everybody as a whole, especially if you have, children involved
Mhm.
and you're just like that's team effort, okay? Like first
Oh yeah.
you do the partnership conversation like, okay, look,
Mhm.
you schedule it out. You see what the plan is,
Mhm.
and if the expectation is somebody wants to watch football or somebody wants to watch whatever and you guys want to be home by a certain time,
Mhm.
make sure okay, going in, we're going to be at this house for this amount of time, we're going to be at this house for this amount of time. But
Mhm. I
if
like that.
you have what you're saying, that that house that sometimes just tests you just a little much, you know maybe you need to have a signal. Like,
Ah,
it's time to
yeah.
go.
A, a code word, like or something as, oh man, where did I put my jacket?
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
if you want to make sure that you stay even
Mhm.
emotionally for the entire day, which is very
Ah,
hard in the
yeah,
holidays.
absolutely. That's that. I like that, staying even, because
Even.
how about we put it this way, right? Don't get too high or too low.
Exactly. Yep.
Because
Stable. Just stay
yeah,
stable.
yeah, because you might start creeping up to that mountain peak, or you might drop
Yeah.
down to the valley there of emotions. But yeah, just staying even.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing, right? Having a signal or a code word if you need to get some air. If
Yeah.
you like if let's say the time hasn't come up yet for you to leave X house.
Yep.
So yeah, if you need to go ahead and go for a walk or something,
Yeah.
not only is that going to help your emotional state, right? But that's also getting some exercise before, the meal of whatever you're
Right.
gonna
Right. 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 And then also, like, if you're one of those people who doesn't ordinarily talk about work and then you start talking about work, that's
Mm,
a simple signal to your partner. Like, oh, he's talking about work. Okay, so I
it's
gotta, I gotta
time
pay
to go.
attention. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So let me
You
see
know
what's
what?
going on.
Here's another good, I think another good tip to help people kind of deal with not wanting to spend too much time at a certain place.
Hmm.
And this may have happened during the pandemic, right? We know this has kind of been a thing. People have pets, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you got one of two things, and just go with me on this one. Go with me. There are going to be those who want to take their pet
Oh
to
Lord.
every place they're going to go, right?
Yes.
And then there's the opposite of, well, you can also leave the pet at home, and that is also your reason to get home.
Uh-huh.
You
Yes.
see,
Yeah.
so if you have your pet with you, that could be the reason. Like, oh yeah, we couldn't leave, Pooch at home,
Mhm.
and so we have to leave because we got to go. We got to get
Right.
them back. We got to get them comfortable. Or exactly like I was saying, the opposite, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we had to leave Pooch at home. So we actually have to get back because we got to take them out or we got to feed them. We got to do this. There you go.
Right. Right. And
Easy, easy.
that way you're not choosing to go to another house because sometimes that's a problem,
Oh,
so it's
you're gonna spend. You're gonna go over there and spend time over there,
right,
and
you've only been here for 30 minutes. Why are you going over there
uh,
now? Like
you,
stuff like that.
it's almost like we've heard those things before.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So, folks, yeah, it really is. It's doing what's best overall, but
Mhm.
while kind of staying even keeled, like you said.
Yeah.
You
For
don't want to.
you, your family, your people, for you,
Sure.
like, you in general, like, even if you have no one else and
Mm-hmm,
you are your own person, it's okay with saying, "I have to go and
mm-hmm.
whatever, come
Yep.
up." Like, if you are getting to a place where you're feeling like, "Yeah, this is gonna be very overwhelming, and I don't wanna be feeling some type of way by the time I get home,"
Mm-hmm.
then, you know,
Absolutely.
you're allowed to let yourself off off the hook.
Absolutely. Oh my God. It is self-preservation, man. It is.
Absolutely.
It is because what happens is you don't want to then be feeling like this way for the next 3, 4, 5 days after that visit, right?
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Because it might take a little bit longer to kind of pull yourself out of that. As
right.
we're getting into colder months, we're getting into some not great weather. It's a little bit more difficult to get those endorphins going by being outside, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
So
And
that
so
is
with you saying that, that's another good reason to, you know, attempt to create partnerships even if, like, they don't already exist.
mm,
Because when you're going into these months where, communication is less and you're not out and about and what have you, like, find a buddy of some sort to check in with, I mean, in any way, shape, or form, like, just
yeah.
whether it's texting, phoning, emailing, just someone who you're checking in with
Mm,
periodically.
yeah, and I like the way you put that, checking in with.
Mhm.
It's not always about you checking on somebody,
Right.
and even if they're not checking on you, you can check in with them to let them know, "Hey, I'm either okay or, I'm feeling this way, or I've got this thing coming up," but that way you're checking in with them, and then that puts them on alert that, "Oh, okay, you know what? Next week I'm gonna check in with Julie because I know that she's going to 3 houses on Thanksgiving Day." And oh no,
Mhm.
sorry, no, not 3.
It probably will be. Actually, I'll be honest, I've actually eliminated that, and we go to my dad's house, and that's in Michigan, which puts us hours
Ah,
away. So,
gotcha.
we're solid. We're at one
That
house
there you
for
go.
for
Okay,
many
okay.
hours.
So note to self: don't have to check in with Julie. There you go.
I'll be good.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a quick break, and when we come back, we will dive in a little bit further, like really about some partnerships and kind of what that looks like, how to communicate that. Hey folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood, the number 44, at gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood, the number 44, at gmail.com. All right, folks. Thanks for taking that break with us and coming back. So while we were talking about partnerships and kind of threw out some situations where you either need to take a break because we're talking about the holidays coming up. But as we were going to break, we really talked about, really having a partner, checking someone to check in with, someone to check on, that kind of thing. And what we really want to do is kind of give you not really a script, but really dive in a little bit on what that looks like in being able to communicate what you need, or finding out what that other person needs, so that it's a working partnership.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound? Does that sound about
That
right?
sounds perfect. Yep.
Yeah. Excuse me. So, what would one suggestion be, Julie, about being able to communicate that to somebody?
I guess learning like how to phrase that. Like how do you, because sometimes it's hard for people to ask for help,
Sure, it
right?
is.
Right? So
Yes.
how do you phrase that? How do you phrase that in a way where one, the person doesn't feel like we said earlier, obligated. You know what I mean? Like how do you develop if you
Right.
don't have a already existing partnership and you're trying to develop a partnership? Like
Mm-hmm.
how do you have that how can I help you help me
Mm-hmm.
conversation?
Mm-hmm. I like that. So I think the first thing you actually have to do is work on identify truly like what it is you need, right?
Mhm. Right.
I identify, is it something that you need someone to call you? Is it someone you need um, some actual physical help with something? But I identify what it is that you need to be able to then ask for that. And it really is okay to simply ask, right?
Right. Right.
There's no shame, there's no issue with asking for something that is going to help you, you
Right.
know even if even if you think the person, whoever you're trying to build this partnership with, a
Mhm.
lot of times what we do is we will answer for that person before we even ask the question, you know
Right.
and
Right.
we will have 4 or 5 scenarios of why person X is not going
Oh,
to.
already playing in our head
Yeah.
before we even get there.
Exactly. Exactly. And so what we're what we're telling you folks is get out of your head, right?
Right?
Don't become or answer for that other person. If it really is something that you need help with, or is something that you need, right? Go ahead and put it out there.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, that person is probably going to be like, oh yeah, cool, I got you. I could do that.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
want to make sure. I think another suggestion on top of that is you want to make sure it's not something that is like completely unreasonable, right?
Right. Right.
We're talking, holiday season ish, through the rest of the year.
'Tis the season when all boundaries are pushed.
So you want to make it a reasonable boundary. You see,
Right.
that's the thing. If you want to ask somebody for $500 so you can go Christmas shopping, and you don't get them a gift with that 500, that might be pushing the boundary. That might
Right,
not
right.
be something you want to ask for help for. But yeah, it's keeping it reasonable, keeping it know who you're talking to, I guess, right?
Right. It's always
If
know the audience.
Yeah, yeah, and like you were saying, if it's a newly formed partnership, a new alliance, or you're just kind of reaching out, start with something light. Start with something easy. Like Julie, you mentioned it before the break.
Mhm.
Hey, a phone call, a text, like, hey, you know what? Do you mind, giving me a shout on Saturday, just to make sure, like, I'm kind of up and at it, because I've had a busy week, and I don't want to waste the entire Saturday.
Yes.
That
Yes.
kind of thing. You
Mhm.
know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. What would you say to?
So
Oh, go ahead.
then though, so then when that person does reach out to you on that Saturday and says, "Hey, just want to make sure you are at this point like relaxing or something. I know you were working hard this week." Don't
Mhm.
say to them, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out to lunch with yada yada." Like if they made it a point to reach out to you, maybe you should make it a point to include them in whatever your rest or relaxation that you might have needed. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, that's a great. You know what? I, I was sitting here like, wow, that never crossed my mind.
See?
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's reciprocal.
exactly.
So if, like you said, if they took time out to check in on you, check
Yep.
in with you, how about, hey, would you like to go out for a cup of coffee, or
Yep.
no, no, not coffee, sorry, um, the pumpkin spice latte, or
Oh.
the hot cocoa, something like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
or I guess there are areas where people will go out for the hot pretzel, right? With
Mhm.
the soft hot pretzel with mustard or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe that's a Philly thing. I don't know. But yeah, hey, we're trying to include everybody here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We're
Everybody does.
we're Auntie Anne's, so yeah, we like to we're
Love
pretzel
it,
people. We're
love it,
pretzel people for sure.
love it, love it. Especially with the pepperoni and the cheese into the
Oh,
oh,
yes. The
yeah, yeah.
marinara sauce. Oh,
Whew,
we're
sorry,
getting off topic now.
we had a moment. We had a moment. But no, that really is a good idea to think about that, right? If that's how you start building that relationship, that partnership,
Right.
and then that's where the trust comes from. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
I feel bad that I had to admit that I never thought about that. I mean, wait. Maybe I've included people already, so that's why it didn't occur to me.
There
Yeah,
you go. Yeah, you're already doing
yeah.
it.
Sorry, folks. I know I'm digging deep, so I'll just keep shoveling. It's all good.
Yeah, I think it's just honestly, remembering to phrase it as even if it's, "Could you help me with?" You
Hmm.
know? Or
Hmm.
never start with, "Imma need you to."
Yeah, no one wants to feel forced to be.
"Imma
Well,
need you to do this."
I'm gonna need you to be available on. Like, wait, what? How are
Like,
you? Are you paying
"What?
for that?
Yeah, is
Yeah,
this a demand? What are we
right,
talking about?"
right. It's a favor. It's a kindness favor, and you also want to be able to repay it. So,
Right, right.
I think you hit on something just now too. When you're doing this, right, in communication, in asking someone something, think about how you would react with how people ask you something.
Exactly. Yep, yep,
So if you are not going to respond well to demands, it might not be wise to demand something of someone
yep,
else.
yep. If you don't like demands, you can't place demands.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta be careful of that. You know.
Mhm. Yep.
Sorry, I'm sitting here thinking about the pretzel. That's yeah, yeah. See, so the winter months and holidays aren't so bad, folks. You know what I mean?
No, got turkey on the way and
Yeah,
stuffing, all that good
absolutely.
stuff. Mm.
Okay, so honestly, before we wrap it up, I do have a very important question for you, Julie. Seeing
Oh,
as how
no.
as
Okay.
Thanksgiving is coming up, right?
Hmm.
Do you prepare your stuffing in the bird or out of the bird?
Oh, out of the bird.
Nice, nice. Just had to know, had to know, had to make sure who I was working with here. You know what I mean?
Out of bird. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then also, do you add meat to your stuffing or no?
Actually, I do not, because one of the kids is not a big meat eater,
Ah,
so
okay, okay.
she
So you
prefers it
got to.
without.
That's cool. So you would, but gotcha.
Yes.
You're also you're being inclusive of everyone's diet choices.
Yes, yes, because and especially she's the one that likes it the most.
Mm,
So I know she will eat it all. So I definitely don't want to make. I want to make sure that it's the way she likes it.
awesome, awesome. No, hey man, you got to get those. See how folks how we did that. That's an important question. I did not demand that she add meat to her stuffing. I did not demand that she prepare it in the bird. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're just trying to model for our listeners. Well, folks, this has been. You know what? I'm sorry. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you wanted to add, like about partnerships or anything that you want to add about how to communicate with that?
No, I think it was really cute when we were talking about code words for leaving the for leaving the holidays. Because I think that's, I think sometimes we forget that that's that piece where, you have whatever, whether it's his
Yeah,
family, her family, however way it goes, you also
yeah,
have to remember that you are the two of you too. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And you
yeah.
have to make sure you carve out that time for it to just be your Thanksgiving as well. Because it gets so hectic and crazy.
Oh man, and
Yeah.
everybody's planning Black Friday on Wednesday and
Thank
Thursday,
you.
and
Yes. My
yeah,
dad's house, that's the first thing we do is start throwing the ads around. Who's going where? Blah 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 blah. It's like I'm like, wow, really? This is what it's come to. But
like it's not like, hey, let's play checkers or let's play chess or
no,
let's
oh
yeah.
no, we get our Michigan rummy in there. We definitely do that. But it's like as soon as the game's over, it's like, okay, who's going
Right,
where?
right.
So
Yeah, we got to get down to business. Absolutely.
yeah. But
Well,
after all it's said and done and
mhm,
you've got a time, to be quiet with your partner,
yeah.
just make sure you give that some quality time.
Well, and you also mentioned even like for folks who are single,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Like it's okay to have a gathering of all single folks,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Yes.
There's and even within that, there's nothing wrong with, like you said. So you may not have a code word, right?
Mhm,
But here I want to actually add this. You can give yourself a code word. Like that
mhm.
would be your cue to leave. You can say, "Oh man, where did I put my coat?" Like that's your cue for you to leave.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yeah.
if if you need a moment or two, there's nothing wrong with that.
And
So,
now that you're saying that too,
mhm,
if you are single and let's just say, for whatever reason, your family for Thanksgiving actually like kind of stresses you out. Heaven
mhm.
forbid. I don't think that
Oh,
happens to many people. But if if you are a single person, it's okay to get your family together, okay,
mhm.
and do a friendsgiving to
Yep,
have the Thanksgiving that it is that you quote unquote prefer
there you go. Hmm.
so that you are enlightened and are happy with that particular moment so that you can go on and have the other Thanksgiving and just accept it for what it is, kind of a thing, and just move on. And like you said,
I,
have a
I,
code word. Gotta go get my coat.
right. Yes. Oh, I forgot the eggnog at the store.
Right?
Oh, well, and I guess then you don't come back with the eggnog. So there you go.
Yeah.
You were going to get the eggnog to take home.
Yes. Yeah. And in the meantime, you have your friends giving people in a massive group text and you can I just left the house.
Ah,
Have fun with it. It doesn't
that's
have to
right.
be stressful.
That's right. That's right. Because everybody's, adding stress for no reason. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
like I'd like to leave everybody with this. If when you start to feel stressed over the holidays, really think about, what is your peace of mind worth? You know, is your peace of mind worth getting into that argument that, well, you only stayed at our house for 30 minutes. Now I've got to,
Mhm.
is your peace of mind worth all that? You
Right,
know?
right. And don't be upset if you were the person they asked to bring the cranberry sauce. It's okay.
get,
You know
get a
you can
good
cook.
jar, get a good jar and slice it up on the lines that line up with the can, and you'll be
Yep.
go.
You're all good, solid. And you just walk away and you just wipe your hands.
Oh,
I'm good.
you're
So
done. You're done. Oh
awesome.
man. Well, folks, we hope you've had a little bit of fun with us in this episode. We always appreciate you taking your time out on Wednesdays to listen. But truly, ease up on yourself and everybody else, because we've had not so grand 18 months, almost 2 years now, and hey, if anything is needed, it's empathy.
It
So
is. And we're
yeah,
all moving at our own speed. So
absolutely, absolutely. You can catch us on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are now on Amazon. And again, we thank you for taking your time out on Wednesday to spend some time with us. Everybody have a good holiday. I think will we have another episode before? I don't think so. I think Thanksgiving will be our last. It will happen before our next episode. Is that right,
yeah.
Julie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It
Okay.
will. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, everybody have a great holiday. Be safe. Take it easy, and we will see you in December.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.